Now, I use that specific language for a reason. It has never been my ambition to be governor, but it is my intention to serve as governor. I stand here with deep gratitude to San Diego, to the friends, the mentors, Christine Kehoe. I wouldn't be where I am without you and the supporters for all of the opportunities you have offered. You know, I first heard about California from my dad, who told us about this magical place that he came to while serving in World War II. I heard more about California and San Diego from my twin sister and her husband when they were stationed here. Before my brother-in-law was deployed, I moved out here from Virginia to help my sister and my newborn nephew. And in this land of dreams, I found my passion, working in the service of people. And that is what I've spent my life doing. How fortunate am I that my little slice of California dream could come from helping others find their dreams, your dreams. I have a little over 2 years to reach almost 27 million eligible voters in California. And based on my speech at our wedding, Jen, I know that she thinks I'm going to try to speak to each and every one of them individually. Of course, I can't do that. But in asking people for their vote, I do have the obligation to tell folks who I am and what I am not. But before I go any further on that, I want to say to you, Jennifer, no announcement I ever make, no words I will ever say can match getting to lawfully say, I do, standing by your side. Soon after helping my sister's family, I found work in a women's health clinic. Its full name was Woman Care Clinic, a feminist women's health center. I was 27, and I felt such a weight on my shoulders to make sure the women who were depending on us got the information and the treatment that they needed. Our philosophy was empowering them to be able to advocate for themselves in any healthcare setting, to trust their ability to know their bodies and demand the care and the support that they deserved from our healthcare system. Respecting their decisions and protecting their dignity was always foremost in my mind, especially when they would have to pass through a wall of extremists just to get to their appointments. And it's because of that experience that years later, as a legislator, I wrote laws to remove obstacles that kept women from getting the care that they needed, especially in rural areas and in other underserved communities. And then, after the Dobbs decision leaked and it was clear that Roe was going to be overturned, I couldn't just stand back and let that happen. I felt that same kind of responsibility. So I authored the constitutional amendment, and then I led the campaign so that the right to abortion and contraceptives would be protected in California, not just for us, it would be protected for generations to come. I want to acknowledge our labor friends here today. They're all around us. I want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you do to ensure that California workers can be safe and secure, and that they earn their share of the California dream. And I got to give a special shout out to the members of the Carpenters. laborers. And of course, our United Domestic Workers. Thank you for being here today. It means the world to me. I can't tell you, and I will never forget this. Thank you. Now, in 2026, we have the opportunity to elect a governor who understands and has lived the challenges that are being faced by Californians struggling to get by and trying to get ahead. Someone who got free breakfast at school and went to church camp on a scholarship, whose parents never had time off and always had a doctor's bill overdue. Someone who started out in a home without running water. We actually did have an outhouse, but we had to carry water from a spring. That whole experience is part of why, as Speaker of the Assembly, I spearheaded the largest water bond in state history to protect our water resources and provide clean water to more Californians. You know, growing up, I learned the value of a dollar. But more importantly, I learned the values that help you get through when the dollars are scarce. I mentioned Christine Kehoe. It was my experience working for her and then following her onto the City Council, serving as acting mayor, that really taught me how to build bridges and bring all sides together to solve problems. That experience has guided my time in the legislature. I've worked to increase affordable housing for Californians, including our veterans. And that will continue until we get the job done. I've worked to create jobs and expand educational opportunity, including negotiating broadband improvements so little kids don't have to do their homework in a Taco Bell parking lot. I didn't do well in school until a donated pair of glasses from the local Lions Club helped me to see the board and do the lessons. That experience inspires me to try and remove every obstacle we can that gets in the way of California's children being able to learn. I've worked to protect victims of crime, including children being trafficked and women facing domestic violence. And we're working in real time to help businesses fighting threats to their stores and their employees by mass retail thefts. And that we will continue until we get the job done. I am ready to be governor. I have stood eye to eye with two governors as the leader of a co-equal branch of government, the only woman and the first person in 150 years to lead both houses of our California legislature. As a leader, I negotiated bills on everything from historic climate goals to increasing access to health care, real actions that have improved real lives of individuals, families, and communities. I've done the same on state budgets, in good time and bad, balancing 8 on-time budgets, building record reserves, and protecting the progress that we have made together. The word governor may not be in my job title, but a lot of similar work sure has been in my job descriptions. So that's a little bit of who I am. Let me also share a little bit or some of what I am not. Well, I'm not a man, as every other California governor has been. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the two governors that I have worked with, And one of the things I've liked best about them is how they respect and promote strong women. And Gus Brown, my friend, Chief of Staff Nancy McFadden, First Partner Jennifer Siebold Newsom, and Chief of Staff Dana Williamson. Now that says a lot. But it's time to go the extra mile. Many have said that in 2026, it's time for California to finally elect a woman governor. Well, as the most qualified candidate running for governor, who also happens to be a woman, I agree. Look, I'm not a product of privilege. After cobbling together scholarships, holding down multiple jobs, I managed to be the first one in my family to go to college. I want California students from every background and every zip code to have the same chance to change their lives and discover new worlds. When I was growing up, being able to live in a double-wide trailer was my dream. So the first time, it really was, the first time I was able to sign the papers to buy a little 950 square foot house in San Diego, it felt unreal. But it shouldn't be unreal. It should be reality, which is why I've dedicated much of my career to ensuring that we create more affordable housing and we widen the supply of housing. It's why I wrote the California Dream for All Act that helps create more home buyers. You shouldn't have to be a millionaire to have a home in California. And finally, I want you to hear this from me before you hear it from some other candidate's opposition research team. I'm not a natural redhead anymore. But believe me, these are the only roots I will ever turn my back on. And like you, Madam Secretary, Madam Supervisor, if anyone had told me when I first came to California that I would be here today, I would have laughed out loud at how crazy that sounded. It has always been that I've been too different, too poor, too country, too gay. Well, maybe not according to the drag queens, but too gay. But thanks to so many of you here today, I've been part of some amazing teams. Teams that not only open doors for me, but help so many others find opportunity and realize their dreams. You all know better than most that I am exactly who I am. Now, do I think my story provides some kind of golden ticket to the governor's office? Of course not. But my experience defines me. In this campaign and as governor of California, I will stay true to the values I was raised on and the people and the causes I've spent a lifetime fighting for and fighting with. We have got a heck of a lot more work to do if we're going to get people off our streets and into housing. We've got more work to do to help families afford a place to call home in the very communities where they work. And we need to do more work to help people find work in the amazing economies that make up California. There was a country song that was popular before I got to California and San Diego. It went something like this. All the gold in California is in the middle of the hill. Oh, shoot. Let's take two. All the gold in California is in a bank in the middle of Beverly Hills in somebody else's name. Do you remember that? Anybody remember that? See, if I could have sung it, I'd have gotten it right. But you shouldn't have to be a millionaire to make it in California. You should only have to have a dream and people who care enough to help you reach it. Let's achieve that dream together. Let's achieve that dream together. Are you with me?
Yes!